Hello everyone, this is Steve with Aptera Owners Club. This is actually the Nimbus One. Well, this is an earlier iteration of the Nimbus One. It is a tilting reverse trike. It kind of sits between an Aptera and a Velomobile. It's like an enclosed scooter basically. It tilts, it's extremely narrow, which if you're trying to weave around urban environments and get around narrow streets would be a great asset. If you see here, it's only about 4 inches wider than your average scooter. So it's very narrow. It's about half the width of an Archimoto and almost a third of the width of the Aptera. But most Americans are driving, things like this. The best-selling vehicle in the United States is a Ford F-Series. So they're just really large vehicles, and people are designing, ridiculously huge EVs like the Hummer EV. And so compared to these vehicles, the Aptera is quite small and what I would say right size. Most people are traveling by themselves, and most vehicles are being driven by a single person. And the Aptera kind of hits the sweet spot for that. But some people want to go even smaller, and the width of the Aptera makes urban driving a little bit difficult. And a lot of the people in Europe and in smaller, narrower urban environments are worried about the width of the Aptera, which is a legitimate concern. So for those people, there's some things like the Electromechanica Solo. These things are quite small and navigate well through urban environments. But if you want to go even smaller, uh, there are things like these velomobiles that are electric assist. But these things are just basically electric bicycles that are enclosed, and they're not really that fast. And the Nimbus kind of is that spot between a velomobile and the Aptera, or kind of like between the velomobile and the Electromechanica Solo. So let's take a look at this. I think it's kind of cool looking, and the tilting feature is really nice. It's very bare bones. It's not that expensive. I mean, $10,000, $9,980 seems like a lot, but when you compare it to electric motorcycles from like Zero Motors are all more than this. And like a lot of velomobiles are more than this. So $10,000, that's about half the price of an electromechanical Solo and about 35% of the price or 40% of the price of the base model Aptera. Now this one doesn't have solar, but it doesn't have a very big battery, so it doesn't take much to charge it. Uh, so let's go look at the specs. The other thing is it is a two-passenger vehicle. It looks like it just be one passenger, but they do fit another seat in here. And so two people can sit in here. It's fairly bare bones. There's not too many features and extras on the thing. And if you look at it, and because it has such a small battery, you don't really need level 3 charging. It charges in 1.2 hours with level 2 charger and under 6 hours with just a regular 110. And you can see because of its size, you can get curbside parking end in instead of sideways, and you can fit three in the space that a car would fit in. If you look at the specs, the top speed is 50 miles per hour, which I think is fine for city driving, but for suburban or highway driving, you really need more speed than that. And I think that is probably the one thing that would make me not buy this. If the Aptera was not available and I was kind of looking for a commuter vehicle, I would seriously consider this thing. And it seems like a good vehicle, except for this speed is probably a problem outside of a pure urban environment. I think it's plenty peppy in terms of acceleration. And here's the efficiency. It's 370 mpge. Aptera is probably in the range of 330 mpge, so this is more efficient. Of course, it is a much smaller vehicle. The structure is a steel frame with a thermoplastic shell. Well, basically, it's a steel frame with plastic. It's a plastic enclosure around an electric scooter. Weight is 375 kilograms, which is about 800 pounds, so half the weight of the Aptera. Range is 93 miles off of a 9 kilowatt hour battery. So we're looking at about 90 watt hours per mile. as opposed to 100 watt-hours per mile for the Aptera, which really goes to show you the efficiency of the Aptera, because here's a vehicle that has way more capacity than the Nimbus and weighs twice as much, but the efficiency is almost the same, 90 versus 100. And here's the length, about 7 feet in length, and the width is 34 inches, so less than 3 feet. And if you look at what kind of frills it has, it does not have very many frills. There's no infotainment system. They're just Bluetooth speakers that you can hook up your phone to. They are claiming they're going to have a frontal airbag, so that's good, some amount of safety. Now, you have to understand you're not going to get car levels of safety in a vehicle this small, but it would be definitely safer than a scooter or motorcycle because of its enclosure, and keeps you out of the weather as well. They are planning to have some kind of heating and optional AC. Now, the heating in a car this with a battery this small may be an issue if you're going to have to go very far. And it supposedly can climb a 45-degree slope, which is extremely impressive. I don't think that there's any streets that are 45-degree slope anywhere. All right, well, tell me what you guys think about about this Nimbus. Would you consider getting one? For those, I know there's a couple of people in the comments that I see a lot. They're like, "Oh, the Aptera is trying to have too many frills, and it's too fast and too powerful." And this is a vehicle that's cheaper, has no frills, it isn't as fast. Now, I personally think that they should raise the price a little bit and increase the top speed a little bit. If this top speed was 70 miles per hour, it would make it suburban and for short distances highway capable. And I think people would be willing to pay a few extra $1,000. So let's say it was $12,000, so they increase the price by $2,000, but make it more capable in terms of high-end speed. I think that would make a lot of sense, and it would increase the number of people that would be interested in buying the vehicle. So tell me what you guys think. Would you consider this, if especially those people that think the Aptera is too wide? Is this something that interests you at all? I think between this and the Electromechanica Solo, I would definitely go for the Nimbus because it seats 2 passengers, and if you have 1 passenger, it has more storage room than this. It fits easier than this, and it fits easier than this into tight spaces, and it's cheaper. So I would definitely go for the Nimbus over the Electromechanica Solo. Although I was pretty impressed with the Electromechanica Solo when I drove it. Now, this is not currently available. That's what the Electromechanica Solo has going for it. You can actually buy this thing. I don't know how fast the order would get delivered, but they are actually making this thing and delivering this thing in small numbers. This is supposedly available in 2023, so supposedly around the same time frame as the Aptera. I think this is much easier to manufacture than the Aptera. It's a much simpler vehicle, so I think if they find the money, they won't have any problems actually manufacturing it. The founder has a lot of ties with manufacturing in China, and I think the plan is to have this manufactured in China. Um, and I don't think that they'll have much issue manufacturing this thing. Okay, well, love to hear your thoughts on it. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all of our sponsoring members, and have a great day, everyone.